Hey, happy Saturday, Facebook. Happy Saturday, everyone. Everyone. Oh my God. There's such an arrogance today about everybody on, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Everything's all like, hey, hi, everyone. Everyone. Yeah, everyone. See? Look. Everyone. Where is it? Everyone. See, there's one person watching me right now. So that's the everyone that I'm talking about. Um, it's a beautiful day, man. I'm here in New York City. Uh, Summer's coming to a close officially in a week, and then we live in a crazy time, man. It's so weird. As a comedian, right? I stay clear of politics. I very much middle of the road kind of person in general, but stay clear of all that stuff. My uncle, I respect him very much. My uncle is a Republican, and guess what? He's not a racist. And not every liberal is going around, hugging trees and trying to save a frog instead of saving 1,000 people. Um, you know, Stuff like that. Like not every liberal is doing that, and not every Republican is a racist. Or issues. Let's talk issues. Like, hey, Facebook, right? I have friends of mine, people that I know and I've known a long time, that write stuff on Facebook, really politically driven stuff. But you know what? It's interesting because it's politically driven, but it's not really politically driven. It's more all of the distractions that are happening. And I know that there are a lot of Republicans who I may not agree with every single policy, just like both sides. I don't agree with every single policy. But it's an interesting thing that today what someone puts on Facebook is more, hey, the statues in the South, like what, and then they start a big fight about it. Where it's like, why not put on Facebook how you feel about the tax reforms or, you know, fixing the healthcare issues and our fights in Afghanistan and our brave soldiers, all over the world that are fighting, terrorism elsewhere so that it doesn't end up here. And you hear that? That's another thing I love. When somebody drives in their car and the volume is so loud, what they're doing is they're in their car saying, fuck you, listen to what I like. I try to like lower it if I'm in public sometimes. If I pull up to a light, I lower it a little bit, or I put the windows up because I listen to music very loud and very crazy, and I listen to everything from rap to whatever. You know, Forgive me, but opera, can't deal with opera. Anyway, I'm scatterbrainy. Let me get back to what I was saying. Facebook, nuts, man. Like, let's put online if you believe in tax reform. Put that online and tell me the reasons why you believe in tax reform. And then I could say, well, I don't because of this reason. Instead of it being about statues and then is it racist? And then if you do stand up for, if you completely disavow some of the things that were said about the white supremacists, stuff like that, that you're whatever, you're some liberal wacko. And then if you in any way say, well, hey, you can't have violence, the people are like, oh, you're a Nazi. It's just nuts. We're so polarized in this country. It would be nice if we had something right in the middle, man, where everybody can just care about each other, care about each other's families, let people who work hard and, flourish, let them enjoy everything that this country has. Another thing is the sounds of New York, and I could just bitch all day. I've grown to hate motorcycles. Like I used to, I don't mind them. Now, when a motorcycle goes down my block and all the car alarms go off, I'm like, what in the fuck are you doing? It's crazy. All right, I'm sorry. I'm babbling, and another person on Facebook talking shit. And I got my glasses on, hiding behind my glasses. Here I am. Here's my eyeballs. Okay, just wanted you to see them because I still have them. I just wanted you to know that. I just left these glasses on so that if I make a point later and I get really dramatic, then I can be like, that's the thing. And then when you whip the glasses off, it's, it emphasizes a point you're making, really, really strongly. So, I mean, listen, my mother and sister live here in the back. Let me show you what I'm here. Here's where I live. This is an apartment that I live in now, and my ex-girlfriend's staying with me for a while. Or girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. We don't even know what we're doing. But and 4 cats. So like in there, that's a circus in there with the cats. Cats are crazy. Here's my mom and sister's house. That's where they live, and I live here. And I don't know if you've ever heard a bit that I do about moving 50 feet. This was my family house where I grew up, and then I moved here. So I basically moved 50 feet. So like, I'm about 50, and I moved like a foot a year. So it's that's like a slug does that, and that's me. So there I am living over here. You know what I mean? And so like, so what do? We go on social media. We write this stuff. They're keyboard tough guys. They write this angry shit at people, and they yell at each other, and they get mad at each other, and then we're all divisive. Everybody's like, oh, they're this way and they're that way, and there's division now in our country. It's a sad thing, man. I mean, I thought there was division in the 70s. I don't know if anybody in this magic box, which we never had the opportunity to have before, but inside this magic box, inside of this space right in here, you remember the 70s in New York, there was tons racism, incredible racism. I had racist issues, and I'll tell you why. Because I would be in the back here, and my father was racist. My father would say racist stuff, and he would say black people were no good. And I do a bit about this in my act, but it's a true story. And then I went out with my cousin, and we went to the candy store. We came back from the candy store, and like 7 black kids jumped us and put a knife to our throat and threatened, almost cut my cousin and took our candy from us. And then how do you, as a kid, don't you start to believe that? Because what is happening to you? What's the evidence that happens to you in that situation? And now, that happens with much less frequency. This is a great neighborhood. I live in Astoria, Queens, and people are just melded together in New York City. It's almost like we're living in a different world. You go to other cities still, and it's very like, you go to Milwaukee, and you walk down the street, and on one street they have like a froyo shop and all that, and you cross the street, and it's like, whew, it's a ghetto. And it's like, that's bad. That's bad because then you don't mix. When people mix, they understand each other. Let me take a time out a second. I got to give you something. If anybody watches this, I do a live Facebook feed like this, right? And then I throw a word in that if anybody actually listened for that long, they could type that word in the in the comments. And I got to think of a new one today because I had other ones. Okay. All right, slug juice. It's so gross. Slug juice. If you listen to this whole thing, or even up to this point, if you write in slug juice, I will know, because nobody just thinks of slug juice and writes that down, right? So if you write slug juice, I will know that you listened this far. And it was bad. I mean, so what happens to people? So when you go to other places, this is the thing. When I was younger, I was on a football team here in Astoria, Queens. I was on an all-black team, and on that all-black team, there were guys on that team that were arrogant. There was a guy that was an asshole. There was a guy that thought he deserved everything. There was a guy that thought he should get the ball all the time because he was an amazing athlete. There was a lazy guy. There was a guy that was always late. Well, a lot of the team was always there. I'm sorry, that's a stereotype, but I'm sorry, it happens. Anyway, and then there was a white team that I went on. All Italians. I'm Italian, the whole white team. When I went on the white team, I realized that there was an arrogant guy, there was an asshole, there was a guy that was always late, there was a guy that thought he should get the ball all the time, there was a guy that wouldn't shut up. Like me, that was me on the team, wouldn't shut up. So you realize when you when you're involved with other cultures, you realize that people are the same. The same with like gay people. When you don't hang out, you don't know gay people. Many of you might have gay people in your family. You realize that Gay men are not running around having sex with everything that moves. Okay? There are straight men that do that. Okay? They're not like two gay guys get together. It's not like, hey, this is great. Hey, blowjob, yeah, blowjob. And that's all they do is they hang out. It's great because they watch the same TV shows, they have sex all day, and nobody ever fights. Not true. There's no statistics that show that gay couples stay together longer than straight couples because of the gender thing and like whatever they agree on stuff for whatever reason. So like, it's a mess, man. It's a mess. Our world is a mess. What about global warming? Global warming. It's another thing. This is the problem that we have in our world, is that it becomes political and it becomes an argument between the right and the left. What's the difference? Think about this for a second. What's the difference whether global warming is man-made or a trend or whatever it is? If you don't believe that it's man-made, fine. If you believe that it's man-made, fine. Don't you think we should still do something about it instead of just arguing about who's right about whether it's man-made or not, and then we do nothing, and then I'm swimming down Houston Street to get a falafel because the waters rise, or in Florida now, the coastal area is Fort Lauderdale, because the rest of Florida is in the ocean. And then what are we going to do with refugees from all over the world that are going to be like drowned? Social media is awful in a way. In a way, it's amazing. Look how it keeps us in touch, how we know other things. There's so much going on. We're just full of shit, and we don't learn anything. Do you think we learn stuff from smartphones? When smartphones came out, the reason why they call them smartphones is because they're really smart, but we don't learn shit. And this is true. We don't learn stuff. I don't learn how to spell words. I don't know about you people, but I don't learn how to spell words. I've been spelling ridiculous wrong for 12 years, the entire time that there has been smartphones. Do you know why? Because I don't need to learn. Because this magic box will always fix it for me. So we don't learn. We used to learn. If I wrote down ridiculous and I spelled it REDIQ, whatever, which I'm capable of. I spelled bus with 2 S's once, by the way. You write that down, people point at you and, you idiot, you spelled ridiculous with a Q. Then you fix it, you learn. You intentionally go, oh, how do I spell this? Let me fix it. Now you don't have to. You don't have to absorb any information because all of those things are out there and you can always grab them. We don't need to learn. We don't learn. That's the problem. We don't learn. I don't know. You guys even try to spell words anymore? I don't try to spell words. You know what I've done? I even will be writing a note. You guys remember pens? It's the long stick. It's like a stick, a plastic stick, and there's ink in it. Like ink. That like when they would take stuff and they make like a liquid. And then you take the pen, as they called it, and you go like this and you write words and you put them on paper. So I took a pen and I was writing. I couldn't spell. I couldn't write a note. Because I didn't know how to spell shit. I had to take my phone and I had to put in the spell check to to write words, because I would have looked like an ape writing the thing. So I had to take the thing, and then I put the words into the spell check, and even my phone was like, dude, you're an idiot. I can't even. You got to throw some other letters in here. I don't even know what you're trying to spell. The phone was pointing. The phone turned off. There was 80% battery. The phone just shut off, and it was like, when I put it back on, it was like, nope. Like, Siri, how come my phone's not working? And it just was like, oh, see, you're stupid. That's why your phone's sick of you. Anyway, just wanted to say hello, and I love all you guys, and thank you so much for anybody that comes out to see shows. I'm going to be at Governor's the 8th and 9th of September with my good friend Vic DiBitetto doing shows at Governor's Comedy Club. Next weekend, I'm at McGuire's in Bohemia doing shows over the holiday weekend. So if you go to the beach and like you're back from the beach and you're like, what do you want to do? Like, let's go visit Tom. Maybe he'll talk some shit that's not as stupid as all that Facebook Live shit. And so, McGuire's, Bohemia. And the following weekend, early September, Governor's with Vic DiBitetto. So Peace, people. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Enjoy each other. Enjoy your family. Life is short. Um, be fair to people. Treat other people like you want to be treated. Peace.